Okay, how's everybody doing this evening? My name is Kent. The channel is EOS Bitcoin San Diego. Of course, I'm in San Diego, California. It's August 17th, and I believe it's, I got to put my glasses on to see this. It is 8:32 p.m. in the evening. So I want to come on and do a quick live stream because I want to address a few things. I made a couple videos the last couple nights about our good friend Richard Heart. And I want to go through some of the comments because I want to address some of the things people have to say. Because I'm interested in what people have to say. I'm not an expert on Hex or Pulse. I don't like to study projects that I know are basically not they're schemes. I'm not into studying schemes. That's not my mindset. We are builders, not schemers. We're trying to make something work on the blockchain, not try to figure out how to game people, get their money, and then use it for their own enjoyment, like buying Rolexes and McLarens and Ferraris and whatever else the guy buys that I talked about last night. So I don't like studying Hex. I like studying Pulse, but I listen to other people's videos, and I get enough of it by listening to Richard Heart himself. And I don't like listening to Richard Heart because he's arrogant, he's ignorant, and there's no value for me to listen to somebody that has those kind of that kind of character. I have no interest in it. You know, we're trying to do the right thing on the blockchain, and it's hard when you got people like Richard Heart that are scheming people all the time, because then it makes everybody else on the blockchain look equally as bad. So I try to stay away from this stuff as much as possible. But anyway, let's look at a few things people have to say, because there are some interesting comments. So open up my browser, and also if you saw me on a live stream just a moment ago, when I was posting the live stream, I accidentally deleted it. So this is basically some of the same information. So if you've heard it a moment earlier, I think I had about 20 or 30 views on that. It's the rebroadcast, because I accidentally messed up and accidentally deleted the video. So anyway, I covered this before, but this person, Jock Hexican, she wrote me, she said, because I said Hex is no project because there's no development, there's no idea, there's nothing there. It's just a scheme where you stake and then you get rewards based on how long you staked. And there's very little liquidity. Most of the liquidity belongs to one account. Basically was shown in the video that I showed last night, I think Young and Investing, who covered Hex. He shows that basically he's trading amongst himself to show some liquidity, but there's very little liquidity. And Richard himself said there wasn't any liquidity, very little liquidity, when he was talking to the hedge fund manager that they had on somebody's channel that they were talking with. If you want to watch it, you can watch it last night. But anyway, this is what she says. Hex is finished product that is designed to be a CD, a certificate deposit. I don't know what you're referring to in crypto as far as Uber and Amazon laugh out loud. You don't have to stake your Hex. You really need to do more research. But the whole idea of Hex is to stake your Hex. And if there is liquidity, there's very little liquidity. So the idea is the only thing that he's got is some sort of scheme to tie you up so you can't sell, to get as many people tied up as long as possible so they can't sell, so that he drives the price up. And he's really the only person with liquidity because he controls the accounts. And I showed the volume basically comes from, Uniswap. This is where he's kind of trading amongst himself, back and forth between himself, to try to make it look like there's liquidity. So there really isn't a lot of liquidity. In fact, I think someone wrote me when just from that previous stream that I said, and I don't know who this person is, but says, oh yeah, replied EOS Bitcoin San Diego with respect. 1 month ago, I pulled 1.4 million or pulled out 1.4 million into the bank with Hex proceeds. My portfolio is now 8 million, growing up from 300,000 in less than 1 year. Pulse is, let me see if I can get the rest of it. Pulse is, read more. Pulse is going to be an amazing too. Hex works, and it's going for over 2 years. Proof is in the polling. I have since quit my job, peace, and all this other stuff. First of all, I don't know who this person is. If she was able to pull out $1.4 million with liquidity in Hex, I'd be very surprised if she was able to do it. But anyway, that's not what the project's designed to do. The project's designed to keep you in as long as you can, get you tied in on, and keep your, like a certificate deposit would be. The more you put in, the more you get back. The longer you lock it up, the more you get paid. So that's the way it works, and that's what he's doing. He's in his, basically, doesn't take much of a genius to figure something like that out. You just get people to tie up their money, and then keep it as long as you can, and in the meantime, sell as much as you can for yourself. And that's how he's been able to finance his lifestyle and do what he's doing. But anyway, let's keep going. And I get this: keep up the good work. People like what I'm doing. There's a few others down here I want to make mention of too. Let me see if I can get it to scroll down. This is an interesting one. Cardano, which is our good friend Hawkinson, ICO was done in Japan in line with Japanese regulations. It was perfectly legal. How can you not get that simple fact? Okay, I played a clip last night from Gensler, who's the new commissioner for the Security and Exchange Commission. He basically says they're going after ICOs. And probably Hawkinson would be a good one to go after, because they raised over $60 million and really did nothing with the $60 million. And if it was done any other way, any other time, any other place, he'd be in big trouble. But since this is the wide open crypto market, the Wild West, where there is no law, there is no regulation, they can do whatever they want. They can pump, they can take your money and do nothing and get by with it. He's been able to get by. He's been able to do it. But the fact that it was done in Japan is great. I'm glad the Japanese regulators are okay with him. But he lives in Colorado. I believe he lives in Colorado. Last time I checked from his YouTube channel. He did business in the United States, which means they have jurisdiction. So it doesn't matter where the ICO is done. If he did any stream of commerce, any business in the United States, the Security Exchange Commission is going to take jurisdiction. So it doesn't matter where the ICO is done. It doesn't matter. They'll still take jurisdiction. I can't believe people ask me questions like this. This is such simple stuff. The Security and Exchange Commission has a lot of power. It doesn't matter where your ICO is done. If you did any business, if it was done in any way that had any interconnection with the United States, yes, they will seize your bank accounts. They will penalize you. They will sue you. They'll do whatever they want to do to you. And they will take you to court. And I've heard Hawkinson, however you pronounce his name, argued that he's not a security. And he's got such a weak argument, it's ridiculous. Basically, if somebody invested money thinking that they were going to get a return or get some sort of increased value, you're a security. That's basically the rule. So if someone put money in something thinking they were going to get a return on that money, that's a security. It doesn't matter if it's done in Japan, United States, the UK, wherever else in the world it was done. If that was done and you had investors from the United States involved, or even did any transactions in the United States, yeah, you're under the jurisdiction of the Security and Exchange Commission. So here's another excellent. You are doing great with these analysis. Thank you. I appreciate that. Let's see. Let's see if I can find a negative one. You really don't like Hex. There's nothing to get. There's nothing. Okay, this is a good one. Let me read this one. You really don't get Hex. There is nothing to build anymore. It's a finished product. It's a finished immutable smart contract, triple audited and no admin keys. The code is finished. It's just you and the code, not that difficult to grasp. Yeah, you're right. There's nothing there. You perfectly stated it. There's no code. There's nothing there. It doesn't work. There's nothing there. It's just a scheme. I wish you'd spend more time on Hex. No, I don't want to learn more about Hex. I'm tired of bad products that make us all look bad, and that's what Hex is. And Richard Hart knows this stuff. I watched his videos enough to know he knows he's getting away with something. He knows he's doing what he's doing. He knows that if he was in the stock arena, the public market of the stock exchanges, he knows he can't do what he's doing. He's doing this on purpose. He knows what he's doing. Very good, excellent. EOS is one of the largest ICOs. There's another one I want to talk about. A lot of people think that I'm an EOS fanboy. That I'm a big EOS. I love EOS. EOS is great. EOS is wonderful. Which is not the truth. I've talked a lot about EOS, and the reason we talked a lot about EOS is because we happen to run a very successful, a real world use case application on the EOS blockchain, and I'll show you in a second how it works. It's not like Hex, where it's already built out because Richard says it's built out, and Richard said all you need to do is send him money and stake it for the next 5 to 7 years and get wealthy with him, and then show you a few Rolexes and some Louis Vuitton, and you're all going to get excited and throw your money at this guy and watch it go up, which is, things like that. That's a Madoff scam where yeah, people were happy while Bernie Madoff was paying off the day but that he quit paying off, and they found out that he was nothing but a scheme or a scam. Then everybody was very unhappy. Well, that's exactly the way Hex will be. Okay, and here's another one. This is I think the same person that just cashed out 1.4 million. Hex is not a security. If it was, it would be challenged at some stage. It hasn't that I know of yet. It passes the Howey test, so it's definitely not a security. So all of a sudden, this person that just made a bunch of money and become a securities lawyer, and not only has become a securities lawyer, understands the Supreme Court case about the Howey test. Nice, really nice. I mean, this person's made a lot of money, and now they're a legal scholar. All in one account. I can't believe we've got such smart people on the internet. Come on, lady, get up with the program. Or looks like a person or a woman. I'm not sure. It could be a guy. Just I'm looking at the little icon here. It's a security. You put money in it because you thought you were going to get a return. That's what it's all about. That right away defines as a security. That's what he talks about. He goes, you put money in Hex, you're going to make money. That's a security. He's a security. He's going to get caught eventually. Something's going to happen with it. He can't just keep going the way he's going. And I don't know what he's got planned, but he's not going to talk his way out of it with Security and Exchange Commission. The Security and Exchange Commission has been around since, I think it was formed right after the Depression, and they have a lot of resources. The full force and resources of the United States government support the Security and Exchange Commission. If Richard Hart thinks he's going to go up against these guys and win, he's got a lot to learn about the legal system, and he's got a lot to learn about how the United States government works and the way the system works. Because you're not going to be the Lone Ranger and go out there and scheme your way to making a lot of money from other people and do it the way he's doing it and get by with it. People have been doing this stuff for years, and they get caught, especially when they're as flamboyant and as out there as he is. If I were him, I would be probably trying to be as what would you say? I would be trying to be minding my own business very well, not being very outspoken about anything. I'd be just hoping that I could get through the next day without getting some sort of having a grand jury indict me, or having some sort of somebody sending me some sort of what's the word I'm thinking about? Getting served with some sort of papers from the Security and Exchange Commission. That's how I'd be living my days, to try to figure out how to get through the next day without getting served. Nice video. Keep it up. This is interesting. If you like Bitcoin or Ethereum, you should adore Hex. Hex makes life magic and financially good. Don't like, oh, come on. I mean, this guy calls Bitcoin a scam. He's trying to piggyback off the Ethereum idea, claiming that he's got the Pulse chain, which is proof of stake Ethereum. He's built nothing. He took over 95% of the tokens of the Pulse chain, according to my friend Colin. And now, how does that even work? I mean, who is going to be the validators for the Pulse chain? He's got 95% of the tokens. And so in other words, he develops a chain. He wants people to run applications on it, because that's what it is. It's infrastructure for the blockchain if it's running smart contracts. So 95% of everything is him, and he runs all the smart contracts, and he does everything. How do you even justify that? How does that even work? But it'll never be launched, like Colin said. It was just a scheme, just like all the rest of his schemes are. So you don't understand the value of staking with compound instruments. No need to explain, my friend. It's not good looking going against the people's machine because you believe in federal law slavery. I don't believe in federal law slavery, but I certainly don't believe in people that don't do anything and take other people's money and sell them promises that they can't deliver on. And that has nothing to do with federal law slavery. It has to do with just being a person with good character. And obviously Richard Hart is a person of poor character. I mean, like I say, I've watched videos where he understands this. He knows what he's doing. Excellent. So I want to address the fact that I'm a EOS fanboy. I'm not an EOS fanboy. And, you know, we have certainly taken our lumps with EOS. And if you've watched my channel, you probably remember some of my videos. Back when we did our airdrop, we got scammed out of $200,000 by the EOS blockchain. What happened was when we were purchasing RAM, they jacked the RAM price on us at the last minute when we were needing RAM to do our airdrop. Basically cost us about 200 grand that we shouldn't have had to spend. And it was something to do with the Bancor algorithm or something like that. I have no idea if it was the block producers or what it was, but you know, you'll never find out. You'll never know. So yeah, we've taken our bumps with EOS. You know, I'm not a big fan of Dan Larimer. I mean, I respect him. He did complete the promise that he had, which was to build a blockchain, and he did do that. However, people find it to be distasteful or not centralized or whatever it is they find wrong with it. He did build it, and it is functioning, and it does work very well. And I'm going to show you how well it works. And I'll do that right now because we are a real project, and we are working. We are in the App Store. We are in Google Play, and we do get results. And I'm going to show you how those results work right now. But no, I'm not an EOS fanboy. In fact, the other thing, EOS has had a couple grant programs. They've never given us a penny. They barely acknowledge us. One time, Ivan on Tuck somebody asked in the comments about us. Dan Larimer didn't even know who we were, even though I have met Dan Larimer and talked with him. I mean, obviously a small conversation, you could have forgotten it, but he should at least be somewhat aware of the projects that are being built on his blockchain. He's never even acknowledged us. It doesn't even acknowledge who we are. So no, I'm no fan of Dan Larimer. I think the guy's really kind of weird. I mean, I do respect and admire the fact that he did launch a blockchain, and he did do what he said he was going to do. And as far as this side of the blockchain is concerned, I don't trust any of them. I mean, the store of value side of the blockchain, Bitcoin, the trusted third party works very well and is very trusted. I mean, if the head of the Security and Exchange Commission said it's well structured and he believes in it and thinks it's the future, I would be pretty secure in my investments in Bitcoin. As far as the smart contract side of the blockchain, which is Ethereum, Cardano, EOS, Polkadot, all these, I don't trust any of these guys, none of them. And none of the people from EOS, although EOS did deliver us a blockchain. And I do know some of the block producers. I know a few of the block producers, and I find them to be honest and people of integrity and people that are trying to work very hard to make the blockchain better. And we have Telos, and we have other chains that are launched with the IO software, which are doing very well too. So EOS is moving in that direction. But they are under restrictions from the Security and Exchange Commission because they did enter into an agreement and a settlement. So they can't do some of the crazy stuff that Richard Hart does and some or Vitalik does or Hawkinson does, because they have entered into a settlement agreement. So they may have their hands tied a little bit, but they are in compliance. The only blockchain in compliance right now. I mean, obviously Bitcoin didn't do an ICO, but all the ICOs are under the scrutiny of the Security and Exchange. And as Gary Gensler said last night, they are all under their jurisdiction. So yeah, all these people, including Richard Hart, are under the jurisdiction of security, even if it was done in Japan. I don't care where it was done, they're under the jurisdiction. So anyway, I want to show you how our application works and to prove to you that in Richard Hart's mind, all of a blockchain is basically a scam. Nothing on a blockchain has any value, and all it's about is price. And he even has a word for it. He calls it pumpamentals. So he's even coined a phrase to show you that all it's about is pumping. That's all the blockchain is. There is no real world value to the blockchain. Even Bitcoin's a scam. It's just about how you can get people to get excited and give you money, and then pump up your deal, and then blow them out, you know, or keep them happy as long as you can until you get all your coins or get as much as you can get going. So that's all he's about. That's what he is. So, let me show you how our in this video that I just showed you, let me play it for a second. We'll play for a second here. Hold on. But I basically, and I'm not going to play it, but I don't want to hear it. because I've got 224 views, which is not very many views for a video, but I have 80 comments. That's an incredible amount of comments for a video with only 224 views. Well, the main reason I have this many comments is because I ran a challenge. So anybody that commented on this through our challenge application, that sent me a screenshot through our application, downloadable through in the Apple and Google Play Store, got 1,000 challenge tokens from me for doing this. So I was able to challenge people to make a comment and got real world results. So real world use case for our application. I got 80 comments on a 224 view video 23 hours ago. So usually for this kind of views, you'd get hardly any comments. Basically, and I could show you on my other videos. I'll go back before I started offering these challenges. Let's just find one that has a similar amount. Here's one where I did one on Cardano and Ethereum. If you really want to rile up people, talk about Ethereum and Cardano, because then you'll really bring people out of the woodwork, even more though so than Hex, because there's so many people involved with Ethereum. They love Ethereum. Anytime I talk negatively about Ethereum, I get tons of people to comment. But look, I have 216 views on this video, 224 views on the one where I got 80 comments. But on this one, I didn't run the challenge. So on this one, I have 17 comments. So you can see the difference between 17 comments and 200 or almost 80 comments on almost the same views on similar topics, which is Ethereum, Cardano, Hex. But because I ran a challenge, I was able to get comments, and comments mean more people watch the video, more algorithm. Google likes it better. Everybody likes it better. So on this one, I didn't run the challenge because I wasn't in this video. That was actually just a play of my son's AMA. But on this one, I ran a challenge, and look at this. For 770 views, less than 1,000 views, I get 108 comments. So this is something that's working, not like the lady said, or the comment said prior, that, you know, it's already built out. It's done everything it's supposed to do. It's already done. No, we did development. We went through 8 versions of our challenge program. We have actual working software. We have developers working on this all the time, making it better and better and better. And you can see how it's worked for my comments section on my YouTube video. I'm able to get people to comment, making the video more valuable, giving me more revenue, more monetary revenue from this video, basically by just doing some simple challenge on an application that's a smart contract application on the blockchain. And I'm giving away cryptocurrencies, which you can go to Nudex and turn into fiat, or turn into fiat by even taking it off a Nudex, or taking it off our application, taking it to another exchange. And even though it trades at a very, very low amount right now, it's still fiat. And in some places in the world, it's enough fiat to where people can literally do challenges and make enough money to help themselves out, that can improve their lives. Unlike somebody like Richard Hex, Mr. Hex, Richard Hart, where he does nothing but pumpamentals. That's all he does. He's a pumping guy. That's all he does. He just pumps the price. He hasn't created any activity so that anybody can better themselves. Just like with Uber. You know, I live in an area with a lot of streets. We're close to the ocean, a lot of places close to the bar. I think to myself, how many times Uber has saved somebody a DUI, or maybe saved a life because they were able to get an Uber really quickly. And in our area, you get an Uber within a few seconds because we're really close to the beach. So within a few seconds, you can get an Uber to come pick you up. A few minutes, actually. So yeah, how that has actually made it so people can, you know, it's made their lives better. It's done something. It's something of value. Not like Richard Hart, that does nothing of value, because he does not believe in blockchain. He believes everything is a scam. All he wants to do is continue to scam people, because if he scams people, that's his real world use for the blockchain. It's not for something like Uber, where people get a ride home when they've had a little too much to drink and maybe save someone's life on the road. Or like what I've just done is I've created more activity on my YouTube channel by comments through my challenge application, through our challenge application. We're doing something real world. He doesn't believe there's any real case for the blockchain. And I've actually heard Vitalik even say a lot of stuff running on the blockchain could be run better on centralized servers like Amazon Web Services. So I don't even know how much these guys are into smart contracts. And like I say, smart contract side of the blockchain needs to get settled. They need to figure out how to run it with a trusted third party, People don't like the 21 block producers in EOS, even though Google happens to be one of the 20, not no 21, but they're one of the block producers. Hopefully one day they will move up. I don't know what's going on with that. But I don't know at what point, what do you do? How do you come up with that third party solution that scales on the smart contract side of the blockchain? Like I say, with Bitcoin, as far as the third party's trusted, the miners are trusted, it's settled. But with smart contracts, where you have to have it done faster, you have to have it done quicker in order to meet the demand for the amount of activity that's going on, it hasn't been settled. We haven't come up with somebody that trusts the third party. Like I say, probably EOS is as close as anything, and probably Telos is the best there is. But as far as EOS is concerned, it is running. We're running an application. I'm just showing you a real world case. We've got thousands of users on our application. I can show you where we do much better than Facebook ads. We do much better than Google ads. We do much better than any kind of stuff. Anything that I do, anytime I make a challenge, I usually get between 50 and 100 people that will take me up on my challenge. So whatever I want done, I can usually get done from our challenge application. For 1,000, 2,000 challenge tokens, I can get a lot of people to do a lot of things. Comment, like, create. I have someone right now creating logos. I can do a lot of stuff on our application just by doing it in challenge tokens. And they get a little challenge token. They get involved with blockchain. They start to own crypto, which helps them move away from fiat currencies, which are all going away. Move them into the crypto world so they can start to get a piece of the new economy. So we're doing something of value beyond watching our token price and doing everything we can do to make our token price go up, or go out and do an ICO and get everybody all excited about something that we'll never do, or never will happen. So that's the difference between us and Richard Heart. We actually are real world developers doing something in the real world, where I just showed you a value where you can do something to create more activity for a YouTube channel and get people to respond to a challenge for a very small amount of money. And that's where the play is. The play is in something like our challenge token, because right now challenge trades at, let's see what the token price is. If you want to invest in something, this is what you need to invest in, because it trades very inexpensively, and for like a very small amount of money, you can hold this token forever, and you don't need to stake it. You don't need to lock it up. You don't need to do anything. Just hold on to it. And because we're really running, we've got a real activity going on, and we're not going to be, taken to task by the regulators because we haven't raised any money. We've used only our own money. We're just running on a blockchain. And the reason we think we're running on a blockchain is better, even though you could run it on centralized systems, Amazon Web Services or something like that, because we are dealing in cryptocurrencies, which cryptocurrencies are everything that fiat isn't. It's analog versus digital. It's anybody in the world. There's no borders. There's no boundaries. There's nothing. And that's why this is important. This is why we think it's important. It's not a throwaway like Richard Heart thinks it is, where he can just do some crappy deal and just just say, hey, hex is a good name for it. It's like a spell. It's like hex. It's like a hex. It's like, I know why I named it hex, because it's like bad voodoo. It's like some sort of bad karma thing. Hex. It's a hex on you. You get involved with hex, you got a curse. That's what almost like it sounds like. It's a hex. It's a curse, and that's exactly what he is, and that's exactly what his schemes are. They're curses. They're hexes. You got a curse on you now because you did a hex. So this is a real world project. This is one that actually works. It works on the blockchain. It's working very hard. It's probably one of the few in the world applications running in the two major places that you run applications, Google Play and the Apple App Store, and has a real world case. I just showed you how many more comments I get if I run a challenge on a video versus one that I don't run a challenge on. So this is where it's at, and this is what so many people are missing. People are missing this part of the blockchain. And even though, yes, you got a lot of problems with EOS. I told you we have problems with EOS. I'm not happy with EOS. I think their idea with their social media platform, whatever it was, I can't remember what the name of it was a total flop. They hyped it, but it was terrible. I think Dan Larimer is a horrible promoter for his deals. The other guy, I can't even remember his name, Bloomer or whatever his name is. I mean, he doesn't seem to be much better. He seems kind of like he can't really promote anything either. He can't even give you the good side of what's going on. Those guys aren't doing anything. So basically, EOS has no promotion, nobody getting excited about it, nobody doing anything with it, but yet it's up and it's running and it works. So yeah, and that's why, it's sitting here at off 10% today, where who knows what's going on with Hex, because Hex has got a bunch of cultish people following it that are sitting there watching Richard Hart, thinking that they're going to have the Rolexes and the Louis Vuitton too, as if anybody would want a Rolex or a Louis Vuitton. Who cares about a Rolex? I mean, I wouldn't even want a Rolex. I had a Rolex like 25 years ago. It was a big hunk of metal on your wrist. I mean, I've had a couple heart procedures this last year. I'd much rather wear the Apple Watch and get an EKG and know what my heart rate, my pulse rate is, rather than wear this big hunk of gold on my wrist. That's an analog piece of jewelry that does nothing. The Apple Watch may save my life because it can tell me what's going on with my heart. So yeah, why would I want to buy a Rolex? Why would I want Louis Vuitton? It's probably made in the same factories as some of the other stuff. That's, maybe a third of the price, or even less than that, a tenth of the price. And why would I want to buy Hex that does nothing? Like the lady said, or the person said in a comment, it does nothing. It's already been developed. There's nothing. There's no development. There's no GitHub. There's no developers. There's nothing. It's just a scheme. It's just a scam. It's just something to pump. That's all it is. It's not a real world. It's just, and when the new wears off, or when somebody finally comes up with an idea or blockchain or some applications that do function and do work, guys like Cardano will go away. Guys like, Hex will go away. I don't know what's going to happen to Ethereum. I would say of the ones I cover, Polkadot, all these others, I think probably Ethereum has the best chance of making it, because there's just so much development in it. And the thing I was thinking today about going to 2.0, I realized that, you do get scammed all the time in blockchain. Like I say, we've been scammed. And you got to be really, really careful. You got to scrutinize everything. That's why I'm only, mainly, involved with Bitcoin, even though I do own almost probably 20 or 30 other cryptocurrencies. The main one I trust is Bitcoin. And of course, the main exchange I trust is Coinbase, because Coinbase used to have Brian Brooks, which was the comptroller of the U.S. currency, as their chief legal counsel. And they trade on, I think, the NASDAQ stock exchange. They're highly regulated. They're trusted. So, I trust those guys. I trust Coinbase. I don't trust people outside this country. I don't trust KuCoin. I mean, not that I'm negative KuCoin, but I don't trust them. I wouldn't trust KuCoin because, I feel like I'm going to do business with people I trust, even though they may be just as good. And nothing against KuCoin or anybody else, but I just I feel better about people that I feel like that they do have some eyeballs on them, and that they are even if you like them or don't like them, they do have a position of authority in this government, a position of authority. I mean, if you like it or not. I mean, I've had to go through the court systems before too. They're not fair, but we live in that system. And like I say, you don't get a fair shake if you go to court. You don't get a fair shake if you hire an attorney. You don't get a fair shake with any of this stuff. But it's the system that we're in, and you have to live under it, and that's why you have to do the best you can with it. But that's why I would choose Coinbase over somebody else, because I happen to trust the system. I live in the system. I'm a resident of the system, so that's why I have to trust it. I have to be involved with it. I have to do, what I have to do in order to survive in the system. But that's the system. That's why I do what I do. I pick the ones I pick. But as far as these other people are concerned, like Richard Hart and these other people, they're on the side that they're just going rogue. They're doing whatever they want to do. They don't care. He just thinks he can get away with it. He just thinks he's too clever and too smart for everybody, and that nobody's going to finally figure out that he's what he is, which is nothing. So anyway, I wanted to come on and say that I'm not an EOS fanboy. And the other thing I want to say is that smart contract side of the blockchain needs some work. We need to come up with something that works. Right now, the best shot we got is EOS. Even though it does terrible, I don't really care for the people that are running it, but they're the best we've got. And we are running an application. Our application is growing. We have thousands of users. I just showed you how well it worked for me on comments for my YouTube, and it can work just as well for you. All you have to do is use it, and it's on the blockchain, and it's working very well. So it is what it is. It's not a perfect world, but at least we're on the team that's playing by the rules and trying to do it the right way. Like we're trying to do it the right way. We're trying to build something on the blockchain. In 5 years, we will see results. In 5 years, you probably won't see Richard Heart. He'll be in some place in obscurity. He'll be out of everybody's minds and off everybody's. Nobody will be thinking about the guy. He'll be hexed. He'll be gone. He'll be done. But that's the way it is. So anyway, I don't know if there's anything else I want to talk about tonight. Keep the comments coming. I don't care if you got negative things to say, if you got positive things to say. I don't care either way. I just like to hear what people say. I'm not like I said, I've been around a long time. See if I can get my screen bigger here. There we go, a little bigger. I'm not it's all in good fun basically anyway. So I'm not somebody that takes any of these things too seriously. So, if somebody calls me an asshole, I don't really care. If somebody says, in fact, somebody did call me an asshole here. I wanted it to be posted, but I think Google took it down. I mean, YouTube took it down. It said I was nothing but an asshole, which is fine. I don't care. Call me an asshole. I don't care. Say whatever you want to say. I want to hear what you got to say, because I'm just in this like everybody else. I mean, we're just trying to figure it out. And like I say, we've taken our bumps and our lumps too. We've lost money in this, and we've spent a lot of money. And we didn't raise any money, and we didn't have anybody covered up with $60 million ICOs like Cardano, Charles Hoskinson had, and we didn't run here and tell you how much money you're going to make and pump the deal and, violate every rule and regulation possible. And knowing that you're going to get away with it because it's the blockchain and nobody's watching you. There is no authority governing the blockchain right now. So you can say and do whatever you want to do. And of course, somebody like Richard Heart exploits that to the maximum. So anyway, that's the way it is. That's the world we live in. I appreciate you watching. Thank you very much.